Okay, guys, so that was just awful. That was an ugly display of football by Chelsea today, losing 2-0 away against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Yeah, we were hoping for some kind of, miracle, and that miracle did not happen. In this first leg, the only sort of silver, lining is that in as much as we finished the game with one player down, we quote unquote only lost 2-0. Now, how does that help us going into the second leg at home at the bridge? I don't know, y'all. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. But as of right now, there isn't much in terms of inspiration based on the way that I feel. That based on what I saw, we just kind of went out there. It just looked like we didn't have any plan to even score. Like it was obvious that we went out there to kind of set up our stalls, so to speak, and just kind of try and punch them on the counter attack, which was fine, so long as everybody's on board with the game plan and executes the game plan. And unfortunately, as has been, what has happened pretty much throughout the season, and even ever since Felix came on, in the first like 2 or 3 minutes of the game, when Felix had that chance to pretty much score the first goal of the game and put them on the back foot, inexplicably Felix, when he pretty much was the last man, he had the last man beat. Um, I don't remember who it was, maybe Militao or Alaba. I can't remember who it was, but he had him beat. Pretty much was a brilliant through ball from N'Golo Kante. Um, Pass in our half. I mean, we caught them against the run of play. He has at least 50 yards of grass, of green grass, between him and Courtois. All he had to do was just take that ball and cut in front of, in other words, cut towards his left in front of the last man. And the last man just would have had to just let him go. Either he would either had to try and tackle him and clip him. That would have been a foul and a red card in the second minute. Or he just had to let him go and let him try to just count down and pick his corner. 1-0 and everything changes. But no, inexplicably, just almost the same way that Felix inexplicably, and I believe was the same similar pass from Kante that had released him against Liverpool, and he had the goalie to beat. He decides to dilly dally on the ball. He decides to basically dribble, take it to his right, and then try and switch it back to his left. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? I mean, like, just score the goal. Just cut in front of their last man and pick your corner. And that's why Felix is nowhere near the player that Eden Hazard was, even at 21. He's just not that guy. He's not worth the money. For me, if Bowley and Cole make the mistake of signing Felix, it's going to be a costly error. It's going to be a costly error signing the wrong player. What they should do is they should save that money and just calm down, go ahead and sit down with Mason Mount and his people and just try and work out something and keep Mount in this club, because we don't need Felix, because we have Christopher Nkunku. Nkunku is going to be joining us next season, and he plays the exact same position as Felix. And if I had to take a wild guess, he's I know his goal scoring stats are much better than Felix's goal scoring stats. Felix is on loan. Just cut the guy loose at the end of the season and send him back to Atletico Madrid. And so that was what happened. We missed that chance, and then the offensively we've just guys were just not gingered up. They weren't inspired. It's like we were just sitting and just watching them, giving them all sorts of time and space on the ball, and it's almost as if we're just waiting for something to happen, and which is exactly what happened. It was a brilliant ball over the top of our defense line. Vinny makes a brilliant inside run, which pretty much catches Fofana on the wrong side of the ball. I mean, apart from that, I felt like Fofana actually did well throughout. But I mean that one moment was pretty much all it took to unlock all of the defensive work that our guys have been doing. Um, he Vinny got to the end of the ball. It would have gone in, but for a Kepa's save. Kepa got a fingertip on it, and of course, it ended up being a brilliant Kepa assist to Benzema, who then scored the goal, 1-0. Um, and we're not playing well, right? We weren't playing well the entire first half. Somehow it was just still 1-0. Okay, no problem. Felix was not up for it. Felix wasn't up for this game. I mean, I mentioned this in my pregame show that listen that Felix that we need guys that can run, guys that are willing to run to basically do the hard work. This is not a game for like for lack of a better word, for pretty boys. It's not a pretty boy game. This is a game where we needed fighters on the pitch. Folks that are willing to do the dirty work, the gritty work to basically close down spaces. And we weren't getting that from Felix, and even Raheem was just marginally better than Felix. Second half, I was hoping that Lampard would make a sub at halftime and bring in Havertz in the second half, because it was obvious that we were playing a 5-3-2 and we had two undersized men up front in Felix and Sterling, and we were sending long balls, and they just weren't able to cope, right? Right? Just I mean, take out one. I mean, if you weren't gonna take out Felix, take out Raheem and bring on Havertz at halftime. You don't have to wait till we go down like one or two or three goals down to now make the subs. Well, but I mean, then again, this is Frank, Lampard. There's a reason why, he didn't make it here at Chelsea a couple years ago, and why he got canned at Everton. Guys, it is what it is. I mean, if you're Chelsea and you supposedly a club with ambitions to win big trophies, then you need big managers, top level managers that can see things, that can be proactive in making calls, in making subs, in changing the shape. You can even play the same shape, but just moving players around just to make sure that we get a little bit more of a foothold on the game, whether we want to play defensively or on the front foot. And so that was basically, again, from the bench point of view, Frank Lampard really didn't give us much of anything. But I guess that's not really much if you're a Chelsea fan to say that you were kind of surprised on, because Frank, as I mentioned in previous videos, Frank is not the most tactically astute manager, right? It is what it is. He's just hoping with Frank Lampard that his plan A works. If it doesn't work, then it's just going to be a long day. And fortunately for us, that's what happened, because then what happened next was what you might call him. Koulibaly pulled a hamstring. I believe he was chasing Rodrigo on a through ball. In fact, it actually looked like Rodrigo was pretty much through on goal. Somehow, Koulibaly was able to get himself in position. He caught up to the player and then made a brilliant tackle to prevent what would have been the second goal. But in doing so, he gave up his I believe either whether his left or his right hamstring. So then he had to go out. Lampard then reached to the bench and brought in Cucurella, and that's pretty much, guys. That was pretty much where everything turned around because Cucurella, you all already know that Cucurella likes to basically jump into midfield from time to time, and then just one of those, when he was sort of caught up, trying to press off the ball, he left space in behind him for Rodri, for Rodrigo to run into. He ran into it. He was basically through on goal this time around. However, Chilwell just the reality is Chilwell just needed to just let him go for real, dog. I mean, you just needed to just keep run, just take that inside run. All Chilwell had to do was just take the inside run because Chilwell already had the inside run. Just take the inside run and then force Rodrigo to make a decision. But you didn't have to just make some kind of lackadaisical pull on Rodrigo. Like it was just juvenile what Ben Chilwell. It's almost as if he actually wanted to get thrown out of this game. He now pulls, knowing he's the last man, pulled this guy and gets the red card, and that pretty much was that because he went out, and I think we then went to, honestly I don't know. I know we had tried to play with four at the back for a little bit. Then we brought on Trevor, but then later on, like a few minutes later, that's when Real Madrid then scored the second goal through Asensio, who came off the bench off a brilliant corner kick play, and that was it, guys. Mason Mount came off the bench and actually give us a little extra energy and he had the right attitude there, which was pretty much lacking for pretty much all his teammates. Reece James. This for me as a Chelsea fan, this was the worst game that I seen Reece James play. He was just totally off the pace the entire game. I mean, he was just not himself. He was getting blown by. Vinny was roasting him at every opportunity. I mean, so I don't know, maybe Reece, whether it's the coming back from the injury, his knee or whatever it was, is not fully at what it was from last year, because I mean last year, he handled Vinny very, very well. This year, Vinny was just pretty much toying with him. The only player that was able to somehow keep up with Vinny was Fofana. So, but anyway, guys, we lost the game 2-0. As I mentioned, the silver lining is we finished with 10 men. We quote unquote only lost 2-0. That's the good news. Well, but the bad news is that we haven't scored a goal like in the last 4 or 5 games, and so I just don't see how we're going to be coming back in the second leg. But then again, we're playing at home. Is the Champions League. Hopefully, with the bright lights of the Champions League on at the bridge. Hopefully, miracle or 2 or 3 will happen, because y'all already know that we need miracle. Okay, guys, how do y'all feel about this? Please subscribe to my channel. Take care. God bless you all. Peace.